5.
They'll be waiting for us on the other side.
That was Sandy Wiles and Long Black Train right here in the sessions on 107.6. I've been joined in the studio with a band called the Tracks. Hello, guys. Hello. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for coming in. Tell me a bit about your band.
The Tracks, pretty much rock and roll band. We were brought up on indie music. I mean, my heyday was the 90s. We were brought up all the 90s bands, you know what I mean? Oasis, Stone Roses, any great band for the 90s basically, and that's pretty much what we modelled ourselves on to start with. I mean, we've progressed and sort of matured a bit along the way, but to start with it was more about the rock and roll, wasn't it?
We started off on a karaoke machine.
We started
tape cassettes, old school, buddy.
I met Dave at college. We both went there. We fancied ourselves as actors.
Right, okay.
I'd been away doing some travelling, man. I sort of stumbled upon the on the old acting lap, and then came back to Scotland, got into college, met Dave, and used to meet him at parties and stuff. I used to play a bit of guitar. To start with,
he taught me first,
and then I'd meet him at parties and stuff.
Right, okay.
He'd be like, "Oh man, play it," and I could play it as like 2, 3, 4 chords, and maybe strum out a couple of Oasis songs or something, man. But Dave sort of picked it up after. I don't know if I inspired him or what, but he said, "Hey," and like within a matter of weeks, he totally kicked arse at everything.
Learned a few more chords.
Done, you know what I mean? And like the 5, 6 years or whatever that I'd been playing it before I met him. He just totally trampled over that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then now he's the main guitarist, man, and I'm more of the writer. 10% of the guitar's maybe mine, but 90% Steve, and I do write in that on the guitar, man. But,
and we've also got Jim on my left here. Hello, Jim.
Hey.
Jim on the cajon and percussion tonight. Tell you what, let's kick off with the first song. Before we do that, I'm going to nip right outside and switch off that wee radio that's outside, the one that you can hear it behind you.
All right.
I don't know if you noticed, but I can hear it. So just go when you're ready, guys.
Cool, man. Soul.
That was the Tracks. That track was called
Old Soul.
Old Soul. It was Old Soul. Thank you very much. What a cracking track. What a brilliant way to start off this live session. People are tuned in on our Facebook page and later on tuned in on our YouTube channel. How can they be in touch? Have you got a Facebook page or Twitter feed?
We have. It's www.facebook.com/thetracks.band. And you have to be quite specific about that, because the problem we have, there's another few bands called The Tracks.
Right,
And
okay.
sometimes it's hard to find us in a search. You really need to put in a specific search. And the Twitter was Twitter at The Tracks Online.
Yeah, that's
Twitter
what
at The Tracks Online. Let's say that there's another few bands. I mean, we got the first, obviously.
Yeah,
They're obviously ripping us off,
yeah.
stealing our name. But the problem we have, it's like people put in a search, and sometimes they... So basically, if it's rubbish, it's not us.
Fair enough.
Of course, the way it goes.
If it's good, it's us.
us.
If it's rubbish, it's not us.
Well, what we'll do is we'll just move on to track number 2. Right, tell me about the second song.
This one is Mousetrap. So basically, it's about being trapped in a game. This song was written. I mean, we usually Dave will start playing. I'll start writing. It usually comes with sort of the feeling or emotion that you're feeling at the time, or what's going on in your life. This particular song, I mean, there was particular stuff going on, but the Mousetrap came about. We had one of these. Was it one of these word things when you? What's it called? A thesaurus or something? What would you call it? It's like,
Yeah, it's like you
basically, if you want to find more words for a word.
Thesaurus, yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean? So I was like, right, man, we'll write a song. The first word we seen was Mousetrap. Mousetrap. And it's so Dave just started playing, and then so the next word was roping. The next word was magnetising, and
Okay,
on as such. So
blend it
I
all
took the
together.
words, took them to all blend into the meaning of the song. You know what I mean? I thought it was quite a clever way sort of writing a song. It was my motif basically. You know what I mean? Taking the Mousetrap, and that was the motif to run with the song. I like Old Soul there, and that was a motif as well. Old Soul. I've been watching YouTube videos. I'm quite sort of into sort of spirit world and all that. You know what I mean? I was seeing if you were an old soul or what, and I was like, we test to see if you're an old soul. That was like my motif for that song as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the way we sort of do it. You know what I mean? Sort of get a motif or whatever and just sort of run with it. You know what I mean?
usually, yeah. Where we can find the songs, it happens, yeah.
Just go when you're ready, guys.
Cool, man, thanks.
Mousetraps roping me, magnetizing my sleep. It's got me on the hook. I'm spellbound and seduced. It keeps me in my sleep, enfolding my own will. I'll try to climb a rope in my dreams to a false paradise, it seems. So now, free me from this hex. You got me in a spell. And who knows what you do? I'm tired of this game. Mousetraps roping me, magnetizing my sleep. It's got me on the hook. I'm spellbound and seduced. It greets me in my sleep, enfolding my own will. I'll try to climb a rope in my dreams to a false paradise, it seems. So now, free
That was Mousetrap, performed by the Tracks, right here on the sessions on 107.6. That Hex bit about voodoo, I really like that. Chorus,
Yeah,
it's really
nice.
clever.
Hex.
I like that.
Never heard that one before.
Spell.
Yeah, it's all kind of
Aye.
mystical and yeah, it's good.
And it fitted perfectly because it was a time of life and I sort of felt I was trapped in a game with somebody, if you like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
So
Mousetrap
it's-
thing, yeah, absolutely brilliant. If people like what they hear, again, have you got any gigs or shows coming up that people can come and see you live?
Well,
At
we're
the
currently
moment-
taking a break and working on the next.
Well, that's it. I mean,
Next EP.
we sort of went for it with the last EP, Dog in a Fight.
Uh-huh.
That was the last EP. That's on Spotify and whatever.
Mhm.
So I mean, after that, a couple of you guys left us.
Right.
Bass and guitar.
So we're just trying to sort of get back to. Well, I mean, the three of us are staying on it. You know what I mean? But if there's anybody out there, I mean, like, wants to play the bass for
Give us
us,
a
or
shout.
Right.
guitars,
Looking
feel
for a
free,
bass player too.
give us a wee shout. You know what I mean? But, I don't know, man. It's just it's a commitment thing, I think, with a lot of people, and it's like they realise how serious you want to take it, and they realise that they've not got the time, and that obviously their work and other things come into it as well.
Life
so,
gets in the way sometimes.
and the more people you got in the band, the harder it is to get a practice and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like Saturday, 6 o'clock, such and such can't make it, such and such can't make it, but such and such can. So it's Sunday, and it's the same.
You
same
can't
sort
make
of
it
thing.
Sunday and you make it.
Aye, so sometimes
Something
like
like
months
that,
going
yeah.
by, you're not getting anything done.
Aye.
I think we'd better continue with three us, to be honest, because it's more mouths to feed, really. You know what I mean? We can, we can
Yeah,
pull
if
it
you
off.
think about it that way, yeah.
We can pull it off for the three of us. I mean, we could always. I mean, like we're talking about getting the bass down on a pedal.
Oh,
or
right,
something,
okay.
You know what I mean, so maybe just even doing it electronically.
Yeah.
But we're definitely continuing. We're not letting it stop us. I mean, we've got the tunes. We know. You know what I mean, we can do it with three of us. So watch out for us because we are going to.
The sound's sort of evolving as well, though, isn't it? We're putting in new synths and
Aye, but we're trying to
working with
sort of-
things that
aye,
we've never really used before, and
working new sounds.
but we've
and stuff.
always wanted to. You know what I mean? We knew like some of these songs are needing
Need something else.
yeah, a synth or strings or something like
I think
that.
music
Or,
these days, man, it's like a lot of bands get lost because I mean, like all the big sort of labels, and they're looking for that something different. You know what I mean? It's just the guitar, the bass, the drums, and the vocals. I think it's a bit old.
Okay, right,
Old-fashioned. I would see it as a wee bit sort of old-fashioned, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like it's been done a million times over, so I think we need that wee something just to give us that edge. You know, where it's a bit of synth or whatever. You know what I mean? Orchestra, choir. We're open to everything.
Oh, open to anything.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
well that's a wee offer up there. Anybody out there in a choir or anybody out there do strings or anything?
Build
you,
on the
you
sounds.
could do it electronically, but it could also be nice to do it
Aye.
acoustically.
Yeah.
We've got like tracks as well. We could like dance tunes. I mean,
Right,
I
okay.
don't know if I might go that direction. You know what I mean? But I like the Kasabian sort of route or something. You know what I mean? Like what
Okay.
Kasabian done working with synths. Not like a rip off of Kasabian, obviously, but I like what they done. You know what I mean? They broke the mould of the sort of
Yeah.
the guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
They sort of broke away from the Oasis type band that had been done a million times over in the 90s, and they sort of came out with that. I remember that first coming out, and it's like, man, that sounds amazing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like they've got all the electronic stuff mixed in with it.
it works.
I like that sort of idea, but also keep our acoustic stuff and whatever as well. You know what I mean? But we
And-
definitely want to progress.
The 4 tracks that are on the EP that I've got in my hand, are these guitar, bass and drums, vocals, or are these got a wee bit of synth in that on
I
it?
think there is a wee. Was there not a wee bit, tiny little bit of synth?
Yeah,
this
yeah,
first
yeah.
song.
We,
First song.
We included a little bit of.
Swing that microphone in for you.
We included a little bit of electronic drums on this one, so I was sort of combining the acoustic kit with a few drum samples just to kind of thicken out the sonic spectrum on this
Yeah,
record. We also played around with a few synth sounds and stuff, fairly low in the mix, but it just kind of helps fill out
Yeah.
that.
Give it a bit more body.
Fill out that body. So, especially with the new material that we've been working on, we've definitely been working with that a bit more at the forefront this time. So it's been really interesting to experiment with that and kind of go in a different direction.
Definitely.
This is the first time I've seen this. I haven't had a chance to check out any of your stuff. So
Make more sense now.
it makes more sense now that I've got it in my hand. And we'll go on to talk about it a little bit more after the next song we're going to do. So let's move on to track number 3. Tell me about the third one.
This one's Signs.
Which is
So
track on there.
basically, it was a time in my life when I sort of felt like a bit lost. I could do with a sign, kind of. Dave came up with the riff, obviously. And, I don't know if I wrote the words before that, and it sort of fitted them in. Do that
was
sometimes,
easy
just write the
though,
words,
wasn't
and
it?
Dave come along with a riff, and I'll just sort of
That works with that, or
Aye,
that
just
works with
sort of-
this.
aye,
Aye.
just sort of-
quick,
there's always a
yeah.
set of lyrics for every every piece of music, I think. Is that the way we've done that one?
It was really quick when we wrote that.
I think we just done it on the spot, actually. He just started playing it, I was like, oh man, keep playing that. And
Started writing, and the words just sort of... 20 minutes later, it was... It's definitely on its way. It's on that EP as well.
Signs, yeah. Track number 4. Just go when you're ready, guys. That was Signs. I let that guitar final note there just ring off. I just
Got
let
to,
it go
buddy.
and let it
Got
go.
to.
That was Signs by the Tracks right here on the sessions on 107.6. Thank you again. Interesting chords, that D minor CG thing going on there. I was watching that over the screen here. It's really interesting. Thank you. A bit of a guitar chord geek myself.
Yeah, it sort of separates that verse from the chorus, isn't it? Once you hit that chorus, it's total. Sort of the same, but yet not, isn't it?
The same, but yet not. That's
Subtly.
That's subtle
First
different,
time
yeah.
I've performed that live acoustic, I think, to be honest.
Alright,
I think it's
exclusive.
usually the
Thank
band, you know what I mean? I've got the drums and
Exclusive.
stuff banging behind me, it sort of masks me a little bit.
That sounds absolutely brilliant here. Thank you very much. Let's talk a wee bit more about this. Well, let's talk about the Bannerman's one first. We'll drop Bannerman's a wee plug. The Bannerman's, the bar down Nidri Street.
Cowgate.
The Cowgate, Nidri Street, is that right?
I think it is, you just come
Down
down.
right in the corner, they do live gigs, live shows. Tell me more about how you got involved with that. Your track is track number 4 on here. The track's Got No Reason to Moan.
Yeah, it was.
How did that come about?
That track's on the first EP that we did. That was the second track. There was one of the more edgier, rockier ones, and I'm sure Bannerman's. Did we not play? We played
John,
Bannerman's,
our
and then
manager at the Infinite Hive, I think the guy approached him.
Okay, right.
Approached John because he manages some bands. He's got his the infinitehive.com where they can actually buy the EP and the record and stuff on that. And I think they went to him and asked him. I think was it last year? Was it?
Yeah.
So we're on the Bannerman CD there. Is it No Reason to Moan? Is it?
No Reason to Moan yet?
That was off the first EP. I think that's about 4 years old.
We've been playing a few gigs there, promoting the first EP, and they've been really supportive about getting us on the bill and playing with a few other bands. And I think they like what we were doing, and we're keen to sort of showcase us as a top Edinburgh band, and we really appreciate what they did for us. So thanks, Bannerman's.
Yeah,
thanks for Bannerman's.
That's where we played most of our gigs, to be honest.
We did a good few there, yeah. Years, yeah.
And now tell me more about the Dog in a Fight EP, the one I've got in my hand. How did that come about? Where was it recorded? Why was it recorded?
I think that was an old riff for Dave's.
It was an old-
ages.
a
It's
sort
a
of,
riff that was
yeah.
kicking about for ages. And eventually decided to put some. I mean, the song ties in with the name of the EP. Obviously, the dog's got the EP in its mouth, and it's like the dog is in a fight to sell its music and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
The idea of the song was like days are closing in. Sicky flying low. It was felt like time's running out for us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's like we're sort of the dog in a fight. You know what I mean? If you think of a dog in a fight as well, so it doesn't let go. You know what I mean? And it's fierce.
It really fitted in with what we were doing as well as an indie band. I mean, a lot of people say they're an indie band now as part of a genre, but we're very much an independent band, as in we do pretty much everything ourselves. So that's it. That EP.
This was Jim. Jim
We wrote that as a band. We recorded it. Very lucky to have access to a lot of equipment at my workplace. And I ended up sort of recording it, mixing it and producing it, and it was just a pleasure to be able to play with the guys and have such great tunes to work with. So
Cheers, buddy.
Just the first EP ourselves as well, but Jim was on this one. It turned it more professional than the first one.
So the homegrown stuff sounds better, or feels better than the studio stuff. That's interesting. Interesting.
I think it was more true to what we were trying to do as a band as well. So it really felt like it was.
EP have a bit more attitude as well. So like the title track as well, like Dog in a Fight. So I suggest.
So
that.
basically, got it done for free.
Fair enough.
And my girlfriend's brother, he done the cover and the.
There's a wee note here at the bottom. It says your sister's boyfriend.
Aye, I better say my fiance.
Your fiance. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Fiance. Well, she was my girlfriend at the time.
Your fiance's
His brother.
Brother.
He done
the
artwork
artwork.
and that. He does. I think he does something. Was it some kind of
Graphic design.
graphic design or something? So I gave him the idea, like we want this, and he got his mate's dog, so we took a picture of that. And that's old EP in its mouth there, so I thought, what a perfect way to sell the old EP. Stick the old EP in the dog's mouth. Dog in a fight, fighting to sell the old EP.
There's a wee note here in the back that says thanks to Chubbs and Tyke the dog.
Chubbs, big up to Chubbs.
Big up Chubbs, yeah.
So I need a dog. I was like, I know some of my dog.
So we need a dog.
There's only one that
Who's
we
got
knew,
a hard
actually.
looking dog?
It was
I don't want a poodle or something, you know what I mean? What a hard looking dog.
That is the perfect dog for that.
Totally mad.
Right, let's move on to track number 4.
We could have done with his genitals hanging out. Yeah.
Well, is that not a Nirvana thing with the baby thing?
Should have got like they blur it.
They blur it,
They need
Let's move on to the fourth song before this conversation goes somewhere we shouldn't tonight. Right, track number 4. Tell me about the 4th song you're going to play for us.
This one was another quick one. I'm
Want
pretty
you to
sure
know
it was the
what
riff. I
was-
was playing the riff and
we'd been sitting up, I remember, we'd been like drinking, I don't know if it'd been had a gig or something, but we'd been sitting up and it was like 5, 6 in the morning, and you know, you're sort of drinking and you're sort of, you know, you have to go to sleep, but it's like you're just sort of just drinking just to be defiant, you know what I mean?
Well,
And he was
keep the
playing
party
this nice wee riff, and I went into the toilet and I was just like, oh man, I'm wasted, like, I need to get to bed, and the sort of line came in my head, it's like, it's hard to admit defeat, and I sort of took it from there, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to admit defeat, but I'm nearly on my knees, and I thought, oh, that would go perfectly into the tune that Dave's playing up there. So I was like, man, play that, I've got some words, and then
literally came up the stairs and it was
put the first couple of lines in, and then just
Yep.
that just
Had it out from there.
took it from there, man.
And it's called?
Want You to Know.
Want you to know. It's a love song as well, you know what I mean? It's we're feeling a bit mushy at the
Little
time, and a wee bit heartbroken and all that, you know what I mean?
Just
That's
go with
a
it.
bit of inner pain and turmoil, you know, the usual thing.
Just go when you're ready, guys.
Love, real love.
Love and pain and turmoil. All that.
Oh, hey.
It's hard to admit defeats, but I'm nearly on my knees, just trying to stay afloat, but my body is dragging me down. Just take me to a place I don't wanna go, dragging me down like a brick round my neck. I don't wanna go, I just want you to know that I love you more than you can ever know. Two sides to a fence, there ain't no right or wrong. This love is killing me, let's put it straight. I don't wanna go, but I want you to know
Absolutely cracking track. That was Want You to Know by The Tracks, right here on the sessions on 107.6. Again, thank you very much for the beautiful guitar, beautiful dynamics on that track.
Oh,
Thank
cheers,
you
man. Thanks very much.
Really quiet at the start and really quiet at the end. And you go see
Yeah,
what's
well,
happening.
well, you gotta tease it,
We're
eh?
not just all about bang bang.
That's
you know,
it. It's
like,
a wee
I'd like
soft
to-
number here and there.
One for the ladies.
I'd like to dedicate that to my fiancée too.
Pick yourself with that whole.
She made you say that.
Right, we've got plenty of time, there's no rush, so we have got time for a fifth one, if you do want to do another one.
Cool, man.
We've got heads nodding around the studio, so
Got
that's
one
good.
prepared.
We've got a fifth one prepared, which is good. Thanks. Before we move on to that, we need to mention the Rum Runners. I know there's a bit of competition in the room. Boo. Right. I better explain. I had the Rum Runners in here last week, and so did Jim. Jim was the drummer for last week. He's twice, 2 weeks back to back, he's been in the studio with the Rum Runners, so I need to say thank you to them, and thank you to Jim for coming back.
Pleasure.
Just get that out of the way, that's fine, that's done. Right, I'll mix their stuff next week. No, I'll mix their stuff this week and mix your stuff next week. Anyway, get back to that later on. Right, I asked the Rum Runners this question last week. I'm going to ask you the same question. And we didn't discuss this one off air, and I didn't discuss it with the Rum Runners last week either. Where did the band name come from?
Well, it was actually the
bit-
second name, man, because the first name it's ridiculous. Looking back, we're going to call it Quasimodo to start with,
Okay.
which I thought was pretty catchy. And
Quasimodo.
you know what I mean, Quasimodo.
It's ridiculous.
Thank God we went for this.
No.
And then I was telling everyone, oh, and he was like, every time I told him, he was like, oh man, and I was all embarrassed.
We're
So
not
right,
called
we'll change the name.
Quasimodo.
And then it was me that came up with it actually. It's just the Tracks, you know, like the Tracks on a CD.
Yeah.
I just thought it sounded like a really cool indie name, you know, the Tracks. That was until I found out there was
A million bands called The Tracks.
another 20 bands with the same name.
So going down that line, Tracks, you see, I thought it was like train tracks or something.
I think everybody sort of says
I
that.
thought it was.
Nah, well, we always thought, right, or we thought we had good, strong tracks, you know what I mean? So the Tracks, you know what I mean?
The
But
Tracks,
to call yourself the Tracks, you have to have some decent tracks, I thought, you know what I mean? It's like the music, remember the music?
Oh,
You
the
actually have some
music, yeah.
decent music to call yourself the music.
The
You
music,
know what I mean?
but
Next will be the
That's
band.
assuring ourselves
band,
of that, you know what I mean? You're great, we'll call ourselves the Tracks. The Tracks.
I'm too busy smiling. I'm really enjoying myself. Thank you. I'm trying to get a serious face back.
Genitals again.
I can't do that. The dog's there, so I better cover him up. Right, put that around. Now I can't see my notes, so I better.
Explicit.
Right, what we're trying to get to, the point I was trying to make was the band name called The Tracks, and how can people be in touch? So your Facebook page, your Twitter feed, SoundCloud, YouTube channels. Tell me them again.
Yeah, well, facebook.com/thetracks.band. Let's say be specific about that, because if you just put in the Tracks, you'll get God knows what. And then Twitter @thetracks_online.
Yep.
And then also on Amazon
And
and the Infinite Hive, you can buy our records at the Infinite Hive, and also the Rum Runners and other bands.
Spotify as well,
that are on there as well.
Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah.
all the usual
And
outlets.
all the
YouTube's a
usual,
bit
yeah.
of a funny one, because we've done one video called All We Have Is Now, and you have to actually put in the Tracks All We Have Is Now to get that up, because again, if you put in the Tracks, you get all these other
you get loads of other stuff.
loads
Yeah.
of- We've got two videos actually up on YouTube, Angels Roam Free and All We Have Is Now, and that is us, definitely us. And I
Definitely.
think there's a few old gig videos as well, probably not actually worth watching.
No, wants to delete it. Wants to get rid of it.
Well,
Forgotten of it.
What we'll do is the same as we did last week, is we'll get a cheesy picture underneath the East Coast FM banner, and we can put a wee link to your Facebook page and to your YouTube channel. Make sure I'll try my best and make sure they're all the right ones, so anybody that's tuned in can catch me or catch you guys on Facebook, and then we can link the Facebooks and social
Okay,
medias back
excellent.
and forward
Yeah.
that way. Guys, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
Sorry, but can I just say we are
course
the
you can.
top. We are the top on Spotify. There's a few bands with their old stuff down below us, but we're at the top. You know what I mean? We're
Okay.
most popular. The two new EPs on Spotify, but anything below the two EPs is not us.
Not you. That's fine. Thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
Thanks
for
having us.
Thanks for having us, man. Yeah.
Tell me about the fifth and final track you're going to do for us.
Dave,
It's called Turn the Tide. This was a.
Turn the Tide. I
It
think
was,
the
yeah,
name's-
it was another. It was sort of started just jamming on the E, and then I heard a little, shall we say, a little twang of the harmony, and
And I heard the
it
groove
just,
in it.
it just carried through.
Aye.
It was simple and
and,
sort of bluesed it down a wee bit.
I think it was quite an important track for us because I think it was the first step that we started looking at the new approach to music. It was the first time that we used synth on the record as well. So I think that's probably a really good example of us moving forward.
This track's off the first EP that we did.
It's about turning things around, turn the tides. A place in my life where I was, you know what I mean, that just felt like I needed to turn things around, you know what I mean. Again, the writer's inner pain and turmoil.
Just
all
go.
that.
On you go, guys.
Cheers, man.
was Turn the Tide by The Tracks, right here in the sessions on 107.6. Guys, again, thank you very much for coming in.
No
Cheers,
problem,
man.
man. Thank you.
Man.
I would normally introduce your next gig, but you've not got one, so we'll not do that.
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Keep
The
an eye.
de-
Watch out for us.
The details will be up on your Facebook page. It will be shortly, we hope.
Yeah.
Any bass players out there looking for a wee job, be in touch. And any singers or choirs or string sections, please do be in touch.
Yeah, any
Bring
something
something
to
you're
the
interested to, yeah.
table.
Aye, if you like what you hear, be in touch with me here and I'll get you guys in touch with them. That's it from The Tracks. Again, thank you guys. We'll get a cheesy picture underneath the banner before you shoot off.
Thanks a lot, man.
Cheesy picture, yeah. We're going to continue the session tonight with a track from a band called The King's Lot. This is The Ghosts of You.
We are about to take off on the Friday Flat.